Hey people, it is Wednesday, July the 20th, and the time is 4:25 in the afternoon, and it's currently 30 degrees Celsius, but with a humidex feeling more like 37 degrees. Very muggy day. I'm here at the corner of Dundas Street East and Church Street on the east side of downtown, and we're looking at what was, until just a week or so ago, a gas station. One of the few remaining gas stations left in downtown Toronto. This one was recently closed down to make way for a new high-rise condominium development. And I was thinking that with the closure of this one, there are very few gas stations left in the entire downtown area, which is bounded by the Don Valley in the east, Bathurst Street in the west, Bloor Street in the north, and Lake Ontario to the south. So in that greater downtown area within those boundaries, there are now a total of 7 gas stations left remaining. And 4 of them are on the east side and 3 on the west side. So I thought, being here on the east side where I live, I'd take a walk around and we'll take a look at the last 4 remaining gas stations still in operation here on the east side of downtown. And I wonder how much longer it'll be before those 4 remaining ones are themselves shuttered. So let's take a look around here. It's looking south along Church. And over there is the financial district. And to the west is Yonge Street and Yonge Dundas Square. And the next gas station is to the north here. And the building that will be going up on this lot will be over 50 stories. Quite similar to the one going up on the opposite corner. And actually, the other corner across from that also is getting underway with a new development, which will also be a 50-plus story building. Me personally, I'm not too concerned about the loss of downtown gas stations since I don't drive. But I suppose some people will find that troubling. Many people still do choose to get around by car, even in the downtown area. Although the downtown area obviously does have the lowest car ownership, probably in all of Canada, are among the lowest. A lot of people still do drive downtown to come to work from the outer parts of the city in the surrounding area. And they often will want to gas up before heading back out to the suburbs. Looks like they're going to have to find elsewhere to do it. I might have to do another video showing the remaining gas stations on the west side of downtown. Doing them all in one video would result in a very, very long video, and that's just not really doable. This one video alone might be close to an hour or so, just for the east side, as the stations do tend to be a little bit spread out from one another. So I'll be walking in a big square, more or less, going almost back to where I began when I get to the final station on the walk. And I was getting ready to leave. There was a report on the news saying that there is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the Greater Toronto area, with strong winds and possibly hail. So I did grab my umbrella, so I'm ready for whatever might come down from the sky. I almost invite it, really. I've been meaning to catch a good thunderstorm on video, but something tells me I won't be so lucky. So we're making our way through the Toronto Metropolitan University campus here along Church Street, formerly known as Ryerson University. And here's Gerrard Street East. The person had a camera on top of their helmet. I wonder if they're perhaps recording. I think Toronto soon will be right up there with some other highly urbanized core cities that have a lack of gas stations, such as Manhattan, I think, has just a few left on the entire island. And the downtown peninsula in Vancouver might not have any left. Of course, that's a smaller area. Smaller than the area of downtown Toronto by a significant amount. But nevertheless, and here's Carlton Street. I'm not sure how many are remaining in downtown Montreal. I might have to look that up. And it's rush hour now, so got a bit of traffic congestion. See, the retail spaces in this building are gradually starting to fill up. A couple of ones left here on the north side of the development. These newer condos tend to have rather large retail spaces built into their bases, so usually ends up being corporations and large chain stores that can afford the rent of such a large space that eventually end up filling those, which isn't always the best for an interesting neighborhood. Speaking of which, we're coming into the Church-Wellesley village. Staring at his phone so intently he was sort of weaving back and forth. I'll have to keep an eye on my camera to make sure it doesn't stop recording randomly, which sometimes happens in very hot weather. I think that's what happens when it starts to overheat. And of course, when I'm live streaming, I use my smartphone, and that often results in the phone overheating and crashing the stream. So I try to avoid live streaming in 30-degree weather if I can help it. At least until after the sun has gone down. Ugh. These lights seem extra long when you're forced to stand in the blazing sun. That guy has the right idea. And here's Church in Wellesley. I'm going to be making my way east now towards the first operating gas station on the walk. the sun on my back walking in this direction. And here's Jarvis Street. And there, right over there, is gas station number 1. I thought they just reconstructed Jarvis Street last year and reopened it, and now it's happening all over again by the looks of it. So there we go, Petrocan. With a handy A&W. And I have to say, this lot looks like it's ripe for redevelopment. That A&W is actually a fairly recent addition, but I can't see this lot remaining as is for too many years into the future. In a prime location. And the towers of Bloor Yorkville looming just in the background. Almost seems wrong to have a gas station sitting right here. But as you can see, it's fairly busy. I wonder why. And the sun went behind some clouds. And a nice breeze kicked up. By the time this walk is done, I'll be pretty sure mostly melted away into a puddle of goo. And you gotta love the U-turn. Making their way east along Wellesley Street East. And I believe the next gas station is at Parliament in Cabbagetown. And here's Sherbourne Street, and we're coming into the St Jamestown neighborhood. It's this huge cluster of high-rise apartment buildings, mostly dating from the 1960s. I'm more of a fan of these pre-war apartment buildings. This one is a very nice one. Earnscliffe. That's a good name for a building. Sounds all proper and slightly hoity-toity. Burns Cliff Annex. And that was one of the tallest murals in the city when this was first painted. I think it might have been surpassed now. A couple of other buildings have also painted murals along their sides, which might be a bit taller. Well, the sun has come back out. There's the St Jamestown neighborhood marketplace running up along through the Ontario Street right of way. Ontario Street is interrupted here. And I have done some walks through St. Jamestown talking about the neighborhood. If you're interested in knowing more about that area. And this area is also full of some very nice 19th century townhouses and row houses. And tree-lined streets. This one appears to be under renovation, perhaps, or temporarily boarded up to make way for hopefully a future renovation. And here's an old flat screen TV up for grabs. Something tells me it's no longer operational. I remember when it was common to see old CRT TVs discarded when they were getting replaced with flat screens, but now we're seeing the older generations of flat screens start to be discarded as well. I still have one dating from the early 2000s. I don't use it anymore, but I'm hanging on to it for the time being. I replaced it several years back with a much larger and thinner one. So here's Parliament Street. And I can see gas station number 2 just up ahead. So we're heading south through the heart of Cabbagetown. Here we go. Esso with a Circle K, which I always like to say, strange things are afoot at the Circle K. And the first station that I showed, the shuttered one at Church in Dundas, also had a Circle K, and I suppose strange things are no longer happening at that Circle K. And this one also looks quite busy. Now it's a straight shot down to Richmond Street East before we come to the next station. Glad I can walk on the shady side of the street heading in this direction. And I think I'll just walk on through. I don't want this video to be any more than an hour if I can help it. And we're coming into this new feature here along Parliament Street in the neighborhood. Some little trees and woodland recreation along the sidewalks, which is pretty neat. I walked through here during a recent live stream, and they did a good job adding some much needed greenery. And they look quite permanent too. It's meant just to be a temporary addition to the neighborhood, but I don't see why they can't just keep this here all year round.
No, it's not passive. No, it hasn't been.
Yeah, we've got a full band here.
No, change the battery. It's really confusing. Yeah.
And we're at Carlton Street once again. And lots of good independent retailers and restaurants along the stretch here through Parliament Street, the heart of Cabbagetown. And a few chains which are inescapable. But Shoppers Drug Marts do come in handy. And this is the no frills that I tend to avoid if I can help it. It's a bit of a nightmare to shop in. We've got a whole lot of pigeons hanging out. Maybe it's cooler for them to hang out on the cables. Get lots of air circulation flowing all over their entire body. And it's the golden pigeon. Speaking of pigeons, yellow. We got some police and emergency vehicles heading into the Regent Park neighborhood. So that's looking into Regent Park and down Gerrard Street East. This corner, another police vehicle, this corner is about to be redeveloped with some new residential buildings. All the old projects dating from the late 1940s and 50s are being torn down block by block and replaced with new housing. A fire vehicle. So we got police and fire. I'm always suspicious when I see someone riding along with a second bike or rolling along beside them. Just always makes you think, if they're on a bike, why do they have a second bike? Just making our way south along the west side of Parliament. Looking into Regent Park again. And here's the Freshco, where I've unsuccessfully tried to buy some root beer on my last couple of visits. I haven't been back since my last attempt. And here we are, back at Dundas Street East. And here's one of many alleys which sort of crisscross through this neighborhood, and I have done a few videos where I do walk through most of those alleys. It's always fun and a bit of an adventure. Looks like this old building will be redeveloped. It's a new 9-story residential building. I think this was at one time a supermarket of some sort. And here's Shooter Street. There's the Moss Park Apartments. the neighborhood of the same name. And a new development going in here. Let's see if I can make this light.
So we do.
It's crossing Queen Street East. I spy gas station number 3 at the corner of Queen and Richmond. It's a Shell station. And there we go. This one's at a handy location, right where Richmond Street pours into the downtown off of the Don Valley Parkway. And it's quite busy, which is to be expected. And no Circle K there. So now we'll make our way back west along Richmond Street, walking into the sun with no shade in sight. And it looks like I didn't need to bring this umbrella with me. No sign of any impending storm clouds yet. Looks like there's a little bit of shade here. It looks like a development will be going there. Quite tall from what I can see of the schematic there. This appears to be some new parkland being developed here as part of this redevelopment. Some new buildings, but some new green space as well. I think this part of the east side of downtown could definitely use some more green space. Sherbourne Street. Lots of neat old alleyways around here. And there you can see the top of the CN Tower. And another development in store across the street. This one's quite tall for the neighborhood. I think they'll be retaining this old warehouse building in its entirety, which is good to know. And the George Street Diner. That appeared in a movie called The F Word, starring Daniel Radcliffe. And look what I found. I found the last gas station on the entire east side of downtown. Petrocan. Super Stop Express. And that's it. All 4 remaining gas stations on the east side of downtown. And as I mentioned earlier, there's 3 remaining on the west side of downtown, which I might do another video of. So stay tuned if I do decide to do a continuation of this, the last remaining gas stations of downtown Toronto tour. They're dropping like flies, people. They're dropping like flies. So I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you enjoyed the walk of the final 4 operating gas stations on the east side of downtown Toronto, leave a comment and like and share and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts below on the disappearance of downtown gas stations in Canada's largest city. And make sure you hit that notification bell, that way you won't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store and the super thanks button that you'll see right down below. And you can also find me on Instagram under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue, even if the gas stations downtown will not.